Welcome to the hottest movie review on the internet today, the A-List Review. I'm your host, the Game Changer, Wes Troop. And unfortunately, this past week, we lost Gene Wilder, who I was a big fan of. And this past weekend, they re-released Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, as well as Blazing Saddles into a limited release in certain theaters. So I actually did review Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory back in June, so I figured I would take this time and review another Gene Wilder classic, and that is the 1974 Western comedy Blazing Saddles. Back in 1874, a shady state attorney general wants the inhabitants of the town of Rock Ridge, a town exclusive to white people with the last name of Johnson, to leave the town because of a new railroad going through. When the sheriff of Rock Ridge is killed, the general decides to replace him with a black railroad worker that was about to be hanged in hopes it will drive out the townspeople. When that doesn't work, he calls in a humongous gang of criminals to pillage the town. Now the townspeople have to look to the sheriff, which they aren't too fond of, and his drunken deputy to save the day. So what did I think of Blazing Saddles? I thought it's a classic comedy. The movie is a parody on old-time westerns, but over time became one of the most popular westerns in its own right. It's got the songs which sing exposition of the plot, flashback stories dealing with Native Americans, and a big finale showdown. The film does show the racism of its time by dropping the N-word fairly often, but in the end the whites strike up a deal with the sheriff to allow everybody into the town if they can save it. It's also full of very funny jokes and one-liners, most of which are silly, but still cause you to burst out into laughter. The scene where the characters are gathered around the campfire eating beans and passing gas has become a fan favorite. The slapstick is also very good, which seems hard for comedies to do these days. The film also breaks the fourth wall quite often, with random gags including a big band playing out in the desert, the Looney Tunes theme playing, and references to people and things that clearly hasn't happened yet, such as Jesse Owens. Blazing Saddles also has one of the most random endings to a film I've ever seen, as the characters begin a brawl with the dancers in a musical being filmed at the Warner Brothers studios, have a pie fight in the commissary, and visit the Chinese theater where the movie is actually playing as it happens. It's out there, but still very entertaining. The cast stars Cleavon Little as Bart, the railroad worker turned sheriff who has to defend the town of Rock Ridge, Gene Wilder as Jim, Bart's recovering alcoholic deputy who was known as the Waco Kid with the fastest hands in the world, Harvey Korman as Hedley Lamar, the villainous state attorney general who wants to get rid of the townspeople at any cost, Madeline Kahn as Lily von Stupp, a man-killing seductress who is sent to do her magic on Bart, and Mel Brooks, who of course also directed the film, as Governor William J. Lepedemain, the governor who appoints Bart sheriff to look like a historical hero himself, and also appears as an Indian chief in a flashback. If you're a fan of comedies and you've never seen Blazing Saddles, make sure to put it on the top of your watch list. I'm going to give Blazing Saddles the rating of A-List approved. That's right, it gets the A-List seal of approval. Alright, well that's the show. I'll be back with another review tomorrow. But until then, don't forget to subscribe right here on YouTube. youtube.com/westside515. You can like the show on Facebook, facebook.com/WestTroopAlist. And of course, you can follow me on the Twitter or the Instagram @WesAlist. Until next time, Troop out.